After a long wait, Star Trek Strange New Worlds returned to Paramount Plus with 2 new episodes that each, in their own way, touch on big canon moments. When Gene Roddenberry created this universe with the original series, which this show serves as a prequel to, the writers had few concerns about the larger mythology. Believe it or not, the producers of this third wave of Star Trek are aware and care about canon. They just don't let it get in the way of a good story. Much of the era before Captain Kirk took command of the USS Enterprise is undefined, save for the events depicted in the original series 2-part episode The Menagerie. Producers repurposed footage from the first failed pilot of Star Trek TOS so as not to waste the episode. Unaware, 6 decades later, the characters would return in a new series with new actors. The Season 3 premiere episode of Strange New Worlds resolves the Season 2 cliffhanger and the larger Gorn story. The second episode lightens the mood by bringing back another legacy character from the original series, confirming his origins as defined in the Star Trek Expanded Universe. Beyond this fandom minutia, each episode highlights the drastic tonal shifts this series employs. Hegemony Part 2 is an emotional, brutal, and violent confrontation with the Gorn. Meanwhile, Wedding Bell Blues is a silly science fantasy romp, bringing back 2 legacy characters and the voice of a beloved legacy actor. Most interestingly, both episodes touch on faith and gods in the Star Trek universe. Strange New Worlds fixes a Star Trek canon problem and solves a canon mystery. The prevalence of the Gorn in Strange New Worlds does create an error in Star Trek continuity, which Hegemony Part 2 addresses indirectly. By the end of the episode, the Gorn are effectively in hibernation and won't return for about a decade, specifically in TOS's arena. Less important than the canon of it all is how these events affect the characters. Captain Pike's partner, Captain Battelle, nearly dies after a Gorn implants its young in her body. Her situation is so dire, Pike actually prays. Before he does, he says to himself, "Okay, Dad, you win," implying his father raised him as a Christian. He even evokes a popular Christian hymn, On Eagle's Wings, earlier in the episode, when he orders the crew to make us shine like the sun. What I loved about the Gorn was it was an opportunity to retcon something into a real monster. What we do in Star Trek, and you'll see we'll even do it with the Gorn, is we start by seeing the other, and often we end by engaging our empathy and understanding. Akiva Goldsman at the Tribeca premiere. The second episode, Wedding Bells Blues, picks up after a 3-month billet at Starbase 1. The Enterprise undergoes repairs, and Nurse Chapel returns from her archaeological medicine fellowship with her mentor Roger Corby in tow. Strange New Worlds doesn't name the character Rhys Darby plays, but if the Federation used currency, the smart money would be on Trelane. The episode ends just as TOS's The Squire of Gothos did, with the godlike being turning into a ball of shimmering light. His father is voiced by John Delancey, effectively confirming Trelane is part of the Q continuum. While on Starbase 1, he shifts reality so that Chapel's pending nuptials pair her with Spock instead. With the Season 3 premiere, Strange New Worlds effectively ends the Gorn threat, and hopefully the complaints about TOS canon among hardcore Star Trek fans. The second episode is almost a peace offering, confirming a long-held notion about a character from the first series. Again, what's important isn't the series' mythology, but its effect on the characters. Pike almost loses the woman he loves, making him willing to commit to her in a way he was hesitant to before. Spock reconciles his affair with Chapel is truly at an end, though it seems to spark a flirtation with Lon. Lastly, Erica Ortegas struggles after nearly bleeding to death when escaping the Gorn ship. Strange New Worlds unapologetically sticks to what it has done in past seasons. The Season 3 premiere episodes also feel like a metatextual statement about the series and what it will be until it ends with Season 5. Beyond the canon business, some Star Trek fans feel frustration with Strange New Worlds because of its silly and serious episodes. This is nothing new for the universe, but with less than half the episodes per season of past shows, the ratio is off. Strange New Worlds is content for a third of its season to dabble in humor, dissatisfying fans who want more serious storytelling. although Discovery and Picard avoided humor altogether, which also caused fan frustration. Perhaps this incongruity is why Strange New Worlds storytellers doubled down on the lighter tone. Ending the larger storyline about the Gorn is a smart move, since that element is the one that most bumped up against established Star Trek canon. Still, with the introduction of Roger Corby and the Q who is likely Trelane, Strange New Worlds isn't avoiding connections to TOS either. The Season 3 premiere episodes are unapologetic and a statement to fans old and new that Strange New Worlds will tell stories on its own terms and embrace elements of Star Trek's past just the same. While every fan's star mileage may vary, this formula is why the series has so much heart and works as well as it does. Save for the fate awaiting Pike, new Star Trek fans don't need to know what's coming to enjoy what happens in Strange New Worlds. For better or worse, these Easter egg moments are for the longtime fans. The show itself keeps its focus firmly on the characters in this series and their emotional journeys. Those aware of TOS will simply learn more about what shaped the crew members that carry over. Those who go on to watch the continuing adventures of the Enterprise will see where folks like Spock, Uhura, Scotty, and Kirk ended up. Still, how this all fits together is less important than ensuring each episode of Strange New Worlds is entertaining and satisfying for anyone watching. Strange New Worlds Season 3 premiere episodes each tell perfect Star Trek stories. Despite the recurring characters, Star Trek is, effectively, an anthology series. Each episode can touch on any genre, depending on where it takes the crew. What happens in Hegemony Part 2 carries over to Wedding Bell Blues and the rest of the season. Yet each of the Strange New Worlds Season 3 premiere episodes strikes very different tones, from a brutal, desperate space battle to a comic episode embracing magic and a classic everyone dances the joy scene. While shows like Discovery and Picard were totally consistent, Strange New Worlds showcases the diversity in storytelling the ship show format provides. The beauty of Star Trek is that there is something for every kind of viewer. Strange New Worlds is most like TOS, The Next Generation, and the other past series in how it incorporates this variety week to week. Other series in this third wave of stories, like Discovery or Lower Decks, maintained more consistency, but the result is the same. Fans who want serious sci-fi adventure have stories for them, while those looking for lighter, funnier adventures are served as well. By incorporating these varied approaches to episodes within a single season, Strange New Worlds underscores how a Star Trek story can be, literally, anything. This approach continues throughout Strange New Worlds Season 3, with future episodes blending sci-fi adventure, humor, and other genre elements. When part of a universe with as much history as Star Trek, it can be all too easy to evaluate this series against hundreds of hours of previous episodes. Yet viewers are best served by saving the canon conundrums and legacy connections for later. Strange New Worlds is enjoyed best when viewers engage with each episode on its own terms and worry primarily about the effects on the characters in the moment. Star Trek is a universe with changing timelines and alternate realities, after all. Fans' focus should simply stay on the 24 episodes left to come in Strange New Worlds' 5-year mission. Parsing its place in the canon and the larger Star Trek legacy can come later. Strange New Worlds Season 3 debuts new episodes each Thursday on Paramount+, streaming alongside the suite of Star Trek series and films.